You're all giggly today. I read a headline this week. First American to win the race.
Mm-hmm. ...
In 10 years.
10 years isn't even that long.
No, but how are sports statistics, right?
Oh, historic.
Historic,
Yeah,
you know.
it's
Like
historic.
they are the first rider to win this season. Like it's a bit odd. Anyway.
They've created history by doing something that
Created.
someone hasn't done in 10 years.
I know.
Okay. No, it's good. But look, on that, wow, because last week on this program we were talking about, don't help out Sepp Kuss. Bugger Sepp. Sepp said, bugger all of you, I'm going to win the whole thing. On the Wheelhouse podcast, episode 61. Can you believe it? I'm Joel Spreadborough, and you are...
Katarina Bartes.
Katarina Bartes, Olympian, Com Games legend, commentator extraordinaire, and I'm the guy that just sidles in and steals your car park every odd.
You have a very nice bright red T-shirt on today too.
Well, last episode
Stealing
we
the
were very
spotlight.
matchy. We both had the blue
blues.
on.
Yeah, we need to coordinate better.
Okay, we'll get on it. Speaking of coordination, that's not even a segue. It's just, but let's talk about the first American to win the race in 10 years. So it was Chris Horner in 2013, but we're talking about Sepp Kuss and the a tenacious effort in Spain, Kate.
He's quite a cool rider. I mean, everybody loves him, right? And we know from the drama.
Yeah.
The drama.
With a
that
name like that, how could you not
it's
love
cool,
it?
well, his father's name's Dolph.
Dolph Kuss.
Yes. Like, take off the in. Dolph.
And his little brother's named Kuss. Is that what? I thought it was.
Oh, look. Come on.
I am Sepp Kuss. This is my dad,
Mercksy's
Rolf.
gluten-free.
Okay.
We don't mention the couscous.
We don't talk about Kuss. All right.
No couscous in our house. He's a bit of a character.
Yeah.
I think that I can't remember actually any other like current affair being debated so hotly around like the nice side of the sport. Like, does he deserve that? But we debate things left, right and centre, but we very rarely debate, is it the right thing to let a rider win? Does he deserve to be let to win?
Well, my position last week was no, emphatically. But I think overall it's like, well, I don't know. Does it matter? Because he's obviously sustained some very elite performance regardless of his teammates' charity or lack thereof.
It brings up a very interesting topic, which has been mentioned by Grand Tour riders, that there's a mindset you need. You know, it's not just about the physicality in a Grand Tour. It's about the mindset. And I'm going to read a quote from Sepp Kuss. And this is back in 2020, but this goes to show that he's been thinking about this for a while. He says, I have the resilience and I work hard, but there are so many sacrifices you need to be so focused every single day that takes quite a bit of extra energy that maybe not everybody sees and maybe I don't have it.
Wow. Okay, I want to timestamp that. 2020. How many people were thinking positive thoughts at that time?
Oh, that's true. Actually, that's really true.
I feel there's a bit of...
He's kind of repeated that more contemporaneously and said, you know, I don't really have the... I'm going to use a really Aussie word, the mongrel.
Don't have the gut.
He hasn't used that word.
The grunt.
That's my word. And the fight for it.
Okay.
But maybe this has reminded him that actually he's got the physicality.
Well, he's got the ability. Does this suggest that he
With the
hasn't been
support.
applying every bit of himself in the past, and the fact that he's now gone and won the whole thing is like, this guy's extraordinary, and if he did that, it'd be even better.
If you're in a team where you've got so many potential winners, you have to advocate pretty hard for yourself.
Well, yeah.
So I don't even know that it's about not believing in himself so much as everybody having so much faith in their ability to win that they back themselves in those moments, and maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's been like, oh, I'm happy with that. I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tell you what, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the Kuss household when he had a chat with his dad, with Dolph, many years ago, and said, Dad, I don't think I'm going to pursue Nordic skiing, as I think you would love me to, because you're the coach of the US Olympic Nordic skiing team, but I'm going to get on a bike. Get out of my house. But anyway, like he's come full circle. What do we got? Mountain bike world champs in 2014, which is around that time, or was before that quote, but he didn't like mountain biking either. It wasn't enough for him. It was too predictable.
Well, which, you know, in fairness,
Is it?
It kind of is.
Is it?
It is.
Really?
Yes, because if you're talking about the cross country, you go off the grid. Half of the race is won or lost in the first 200 metres as you fight for your position. Then when you're out on the single track, it's pretty hard to overtake. And then gaps open up. So there's not the same strategy like this. There's not the teamwork. It's so complex, road racing. Which says to me that the guy's got a brain.
Slot cars versus Formula
One. He likes the strategy of it. Yeah, kind of. Okay. But it's interesting, isn't it, that he came from mountain biking like so many of our talent pool in road cycling does. Another one with a mountain bike background.
And those skills, those transferable skills that we see so often.
Well, it's not a big step to go from Nordic skiing to mountain biking across. Like the skill of Nordic skiing isn't actually that dissimilar to mountain biking.
Yeah, so you're still sort of getting that. Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody's going to pull me up on that and say, have you ever Nordic skied? The answer is no, I have not.
Bates, when was the last time you Nordic skied?
No.
One sad thing about Sepp, and you're probably going to get to this anyway, but just the recognition, I guess, and the regard and the respect he gets in the US. And he made one point here that I got a little sad reading about that he's like, in the US, there's still a bit of a taint. There's still a bit of a strong, let's call it Essence D Armstrong, Odu Armstrong. Yeah, on the sport, which kind of diminishes, I guess, that reception back home to a degree.
Yeah, well, it's a legacy, a bad legacy that I don't see fading anytime soon. I had my hair and makeup done for the Channel 9 upfronts for the Olympic announcement.
Yep.
And the lovely lady, and I won't say her name and break privacy, but doing my makeup had done makeup for Stars on Mars.
Oh, wow.
Yes. To go. Now, if you are a new listener, dive back and find our episode about Stars on Mars that was shot in... This wasn't Broken Hill. Where was it?
I had Broken Hill.
Cooper Pedy. That's it. And Mercksy, he tried to get the mayor on the line. He tried to get everybody. Nobody really wanted to talk about. I think the mayor had been fired. For a controversy from memory. Anyway,
that was the timing wasn't great.
It wasn't. We're getting lost here. How unlike me. And apparently, Armstrong is still quite a divisive character.
Yeah.
Love him, hate him. He still carries very strong opinions, both with viewers, with everybody he meets. It's not a surprise that cycling is so strongly attached to that, but it must be tough for the current crop. We've got a good current crop.
In the US, absolutely.
Yes. Matteo Jorgensen, Nielsen Powless, Brendan McNulty. There's a lot of young talent that can be coming through and winning big races. I don't think this will be the last American Grand Tour win we see in the next decade.
Well, you know what I think? It's the best talent pool we've seen in at least a decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, though, it's huge. And Sepp Kuss, he's a Strava fiend as well.
Yes. I'm glad you brought this up, Joel, because I think... we can talk about how he won the Vuelta. Woo! You know, there's a million podcasts who talk about this. How many people are talking about Strava? That's what I want to know. They should be 808 Strava segments just this year.
This year, 808, and that's more than anyone. That's he's got the rest of the peloton.
This is
gone.
The brain explosion emoji. Again, it's coming out. But we've talked about how dear cousin Jonas Vingegaard kind of got talent ID'd by Strava. Like the team took him in Valencia, I believe, Col de Rates, I think it's called, and they took him up that at 6.2K, and then they sort of said to the teams, hey, look, this guy can climb. And so it went from just being this fun thing. Anybody can make a segment, anybody can beat a segment, so it's a really community-based thing. But to be able to do that was absolutely incredible, to go from Strava King to World Tour, right?
It's massive.
And it's actually been broken when I was looking this up. A young fella, Jakob Madsen, who rides for Uno X, a Danish rider, he's beaten old Jonas's Strava record on that segment. So I reckon we quietly put a little highlighter over his name. But it's almost as though Seppi, we can call him Seppi, right?
Couscous.
Or Couscous.
Yeah.
Mr. Couscous is a bit like, hey, No. Like, I know this is community-based.
Yep.
But I'm the king. 808 times
I'm the best
king.
American rider in 10 years.
You know, like, I've got this wonderful Vuelta trophy. Sure.
Look at my jersey.
808.
Yeah.
Like, is Strava going to send him a special trophy? They should.
He probably got to like 200 and they're all like, it's okay, Sepp. It's an unassailable lead. You're all good. He's like, never. I must cement it.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, good on him. That's
awesome.
awesome.
I've known riders to, like, train up for them.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if he's ever done the old rocket ship on the Wheelhouse podcast. So leave that one to your imagination. So congratulations to Sepp Kuss wearing the famous
Roja.
jersey.
Rojo.
Good.
Roja. That's wine. Yes.
Yes.
But, you know.
Look, an understandable
Yes. Similar
confusion.
colours, actually.
Let's go from the pride of America to the pride of Gympie right now, because I'm itching to talk about Kaden Groves. And what we will say is it was a breakout tour in the first week. Now it kind of became something else entirely, and we can throw around the cliches in a big way because history was made for
Actually
Australia.
made. Not like the first time an Aussie has won the sprint jersey at the Vuelta in ... read the fine print.
Yep.
Ever.
First ever. Hello, Mercksy.
He's the first person from Gympie to win the green jersey at the Vuelta.
Hold on. For a bit of context, Mercksy, where is Gympie?
It's about an hour and a half north of the great city of Brisbane.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many people, do we know how many people live in Gympie?
Hour and a half? What are you driving? A rocket car?
He's riding Caden's bike.
He's on Caden's bike. Yeah, north of Brisbane. Lovely locality. It's a gateway to the beautiful Fraser Island and those kind of places as well. Actually, Gari Island, I should say, places like that. It's a lovely part of the world.
55,000.
A real cycling breeding ground.
55,000.
Pop.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Gympie.
Small. Yep.
I see a statue coming.
Ooh.
He was on the front of the Gympie Times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw that.
Yeah. Mercksy's taken him on board as, a member of his club, even though, he's from Brisbane, not Gympie. But
that's all right. It's
close enough.
Wide net. It's
That's
a wide
right.
net. No,
Yeah.
it's an awesome performance. And his GT journey has been a little bit stop-starty, a little bit stilty. Had some hopes, I believe, in Italy earlier this year, but got the VOMs and had to pull out.
Got the FOMs.
The old up and under.
There's a brilliant photo of him where he started in the Queensland Road Series. And, he looks like a pretty unassuming
Doesn't he? Yeah.
young fella to the heights of wearing the points jersey at the Vuelta. It is pretty impressive. And it was posted actually by Bear Liang, who was the president of Cycling Queensland. So I think fair to say there's a bit of local pride behind the boy.
A little bit of a proud moment for Bear.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What a development. But I love the resilience. I love the courage that he showed, because he had some pretty hairy moments across the whole tour.
He did. There were some slips and slides. He ended up winning 3 stages, including the last stage. How cool is it to win the last stage?
Oh, you know what?
That's iconic.
Oh, where's my bell? I'll ring the Darth Vader. Catherine Bates, you picked it. You said there's one, he'll get it. You said, yeah.
I did.
He'll go flat and he'll
We do need
dominate.
a leaderboard in here.
Yeah.
For those.
I'm happy to
picks.
concede that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about his attitude that's really refreshing, in that the way he talks about his teammates. He went into this race in his team. Half of them had never ridden a Grand Tour before.
Wow.
Right? But he talks about them like they're incredibly courageous for being there and doing the job they do, which I think is kind of cool. Like, giving credit to the guys, some of whom didn't finish, some of whom, struggled to get to the end, especially in big mountain stages.
Yep.
But he still goes out of his way to credit them.
Okay, yeah, full credit to the boys.
Full credit to the boys.
Hey, look, you know what? It's the move, the career move, the Alpecin move, proving hugely beneficial as well, because we know the guy's got talent, but he was kind of, and we said it last week, he was kind of on that periphery of our big bunch of Aussies, playing second fiddle to Yates as well.
That's it, right? You hit the nail on the head there, because last year when he was going to Grand Tours, they were going for GC run with Simon Yates, and he was supported in the best way you can when a team has such, cross-focus. But I think this has been a really good move for him. There's so many intricacies to changing teams.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not about the money. That's a factor.
Money. Yeah.
But it's not all about that. And I think, the big pop word is culture is what I will say.
Yeah.
And I think it gets bandied around like they've got a culture problem, great culture here. But actually, it's not just a word. It means a whole lot.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can go in as leader and he's very open about how supportive everybody around him is and how much they believe in him. So it's almost like he doesn't even need to worry about believing in himself because he's really well propped up and supported and he's able to relax and just get on with the job.
I'm fascinated by the balance in these teams because you compare that to a team like Jumbo, which is just dripping with star power, absolutely dripping, and that sort of finding that equilibrium and having the success that they've had has been extraordinary. But then a young Aussie with everything to fight for gets that opportunity to sort of lead out and be that guy, and it's awesome. And they still find the success. It's incredible that culture can work in those two different sort of frameworks. It baffles me.
Well, it's interesting because I think when he first went over to Alpes and Deceuninck, I thought, Jasper Philipsen's there, Mathieu van der Poel. Is this really
not the poo?
Where are his opportunities coming from?
Yeah.
In that, there's a kind of genius that Jumbo have brought out, I think, because all of those Jumbo guys that we talk about, too many cooks in the kitchen, 3 on the podium, mind-blowingly good, right? They're still there. They don't have to be. They're all so well sought after that they could get as much money as they wanted anywhere. Mm-hmm. They choose not to leave.
Yep.
So we can debate about, how's the culture? How are they all feeling? Well, they're all still there.
It's all working. Exactly.
Yeah.
These different models are working.
Alpes and Deceuninck, it's working.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think that for the moment they've got 2 really great sprint options with Philipsen and Kaden Groves. They get on really well.
Yep.
They're able to learn from each other because even if you're kind of top of the rung like Philipsen is, he can still learn from Groves.
Of course.
Because they have different approaches to it. Culturally, Australians work very differently to the Germans, the Belgians, the Dutch. We all have our own little habits.
Yep.
And often crossing culture in terms of your team balance brings something, a new insight. I don't know. I just quietly, I reckon we could be on a bit of I think this could be the defining moment in his career, the team change.
The launch pad. The real... You would have experienced the clash of cultures, I'm sure, in your time in Europe.
Oh, I did. The best thing I ever did was change to a German team, Nuremberg, and then the next year it was Team Mobile, which was also kind of mostly German run.
Yeah.
And for me, it made a massive difference.
Yep.
In fact, I had a bit of coaching input from an incredible German woman who was Olympic and world champion, Petra Rosner. The ideas that she gave me were so weird to me, but I trusted the process. And the first year I worked with her was when I was world champion. So I think sometimes just this new culture and trusting the process goes a heck of a way.
Goes a long way. Let's stay on the Aussies. Last week we were saying,
Where?
Caleb.
Where is he?
What's he doing? Now, you've got an expression you want to discuss called quiet quitting.
Oh, it's like, haven't you seen it? It's all over the TikTok and the gram.
That's why I haven't seen it.
It's like meant to be this trend that millennials are doing where they're turning up to work, but they're doing the bare minimum. Okay. And they're not doing a single thing more than what they absolutely have to get paid, right? And they call it quiet quitting. Like, you don't make a big song and dance about it. You just kind of start doing less. And cycling's not really a job you can do that in. Nor is media, Joel. I mean, if you just didn't turn up to ABC, I'm pretty sure some would notice.
Well, the thing with that
is there'd be nothing quiet about it.
If you don't do your job, you're in big trouble because there's nothing that you can work. Yeah.
And but then I was like, you can't do that in cycling. And then I'm like, actually, where is Caleb?
Where's Caleb?
Has Caleb quite quit?
Oh no. No, I was speculating last week about this renaissance and this sort of watch this space in a couple of years and him to do something massive and emerge. But you're seeing quite the opposite potential.
I don't know. We've just been talking about team culture.
I just want to say, I tipped it a few weeks ago.
He did, absolutely. Where's my... Hang on.
Another ding, ding, ding.
Ding,
Another
ding on the
point
Vader
on
helmet. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Mercksy
look,
did pick
I
it.
don't know if he's quite quit so much, but I do think that talking about the team culture and how it can completely turn things around.
Yeah. Muy interesante.
Muy interesante. Jeez, my Spanish is great after a month in at the Vuelta.
Yes, we had a great trip. Now, a new emerging talent. Now, you love your names and playing with names and respectfully coming up with ideas to help you remember tricky names.
I do. Well, and I think more than that, I like torturing you.
You do.
With foreign names and pronunciation. Uh-huh. Yeah. So we've got a good one this week. Now, young Dutch talent.
Yeah.
Doing amazingly. Surname, Uitdebroeks.
Uitdebroeks?
Uitdebroeks.
Sorry, I'm not laughing.
Well, in Dutch, broeks is pants.
Oh, no.
So I remember it very easily because it's like out your pants.
Out your pants! And I thought it was wee, so my version of it is wee your pants.
Wee your pants. All right. Well, look, either way, there's our new name.
Wee the pants.
We're going to have to respectfully learn that one.
I'm trying,
I'm thinking that we're going to be saying it a little bit more.
Okay, so much. You've seen something, one to watch and one to absolutely learn the name of correctly. Yeah. That's the challenge.
Out your pants.
Out
your pants. Out your
See, you've now started this, and it's going to be really hard to respectfully.
It's one of the most brilliant things Mercksy's ever done is this fantastic compilation in the early days about how all the different commentators said Vingegaard.
Yeah.
And, you know, from Fingergaard to Vingegaard to Vingegaard. Like it was the whole range. I'm just highlighting this one for him. This is going to be a fun one. Anyway, moving on.
Wet the breeches. Okay, now sad news on the Wheelhouse podcast as well. We were talking some retirements last week and obviously led by Annemiek van Vleuten. That was one where it's like, yeah, sure, she's 40. She's won 100-plus races. See you later. Sad about it, of course. But it is sad when someone is forced out of the sport prematurely. And this is quite a serious issue for Nathan van Hooydonk.
Hooydonk.
Oh, yes. Goodness. Yes.
He's 27. He had a bit of a bingle in his car earlier in the year because he passed out while driving, which was quite dangerous. And he was very, very lucky, as was his pregnant wife who was in the car.
Yeah.
Terrifying for her. He had to be revived by emergency crews. Turns out he's got a not insignificant heart condition and he will be fine, but he can't race anymore. It's not a kind of conversation where it's like, oh, if you race, you'll be in danger. Is it
similar territory to Colbrelli, like that kind of, you had to just...
It is, and it's popping up more and more. But what I think is really great is that they're monitoring for it.
Yeah.
You know, they are part of their health checks for their health passports they have is some significant heart monitoring. And so it's sad for him that it's happened like this. But look, he's been a really incredible rider, especially this season. Another one of the very strong Jumbo army. But what I found really interesting about it was what my friend, Wout van Aert, see Mercksy? Not a single show goes by without the mention. But when he was asked about it, he actually got quite emotional, and he said he's really sad, and he's just really grateful that he found this out without it being much worse.
Absolutely.
But that he was having a hard time coming to terms with him not being his teammate anymore. It was a nice soft aside.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about culture in teams. We talk about how these guys, you know, in Jumbo, like they're kind of, are they friends? Are they frenemies? What's going on? But this just peels back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, it genuinely does.
You know, they genuinely care about each other and value each other. And
he said, my best teammate. And all of a sudden, Cousin Jonas is like, hello.
And Primoz is like, yo, Scuzzy.
Still here.
Over here in the corner.
But look, a nice tribute from Wout, and also that really sobering realisation of this is what has to happen, otherwise it could be a lot worse. And I'm interested about this. We're going to talk a little bit more about rider safety and health protocols in this very program. But this one, he's made the decision he had to make, basically. It's sad, but life will go on. He's 27. He's got it all ahead of him. Hopefully healthy, happy, and safe. So.
Yes, and he and his wife Ellysse are about to welcome a small human. So I think that'll be a nice little reminder that, put everything in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Went to hospital and came out with an internal defibrillator too.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
I reckon he'll be roadside. Watching a few races next year.
Get him back in there.
Wout's
powder guy.
Yes.
Maybe something like that.
Bag carrier.
No, never good to hear. So good. At least
good luck to him,
he's healthy. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's go to the women's tour of Romandie.
Yes.
And Leon Lippard tearing it apart. Lippard apart. You like that? I didn't.
Good try.
Sometimes it's like just
that
stop.
was good. I mean, I think she won stage 3. It's only 3 stages. Tour of Romandie are building back up to being a major race. They are in the men, and they're giving the women that attention, albeit bit by bit.
Yep.
Probably no major surprises in the overall.
Demi-nation.
Yeah. And it was only last week actually that we were saying, knowing that Romandie was on, but not having a lot of news about Demi's intentions. We were like, she started the season amazingly and the back end of the season's more about Kopecky.
Yeah.
I reckon Demi listened and she was
like,
she
did.
Hey,
of course she did.
Hey Bates, you've thrown some shade on me this year. I'm going to prove you wrong. No points for you on the wheelhouse whiteboard.
Once again.
So
I'm
negative point.
Yeah.
I've just lost the point that I got for Groves winning the final stage. But
no, devastating Demi domination tears Lippard apart. Basically,
nice
would
headline.
Be my headline.
Good headline.
But we credit where it's due, and again, SD. They've had a good year. They've had a good old year.
It is. She beat in stage 2. She beat Cassia Nui-Doma, who has been the bridesmaid so many times that now it's a thing. That she is top 10 so often, on the podium so often, but doesn't crack the win.
Yeah.
And I thought, why didn't Demi give her a Sepp Kuss kind of moment? Let her. And then I realised they're on different teams.
They're on different
teams. That's why.
Fundamentally, that's the first reason.
That's where the logic came undone.
But you know what? I'm sorry, even if they were on the same team, is that going to happen?
I think Strada Bianchi kind of taught us that, there's a little bit less charity there.
And some naughty words being thrown at one another as well. So, look, it's a fight. It's a fight. They're all in the fight. Awesome, though. That's really, really cool. Very, very tough race. And that's almost it for the women's tour.
It is. They've got Chongming Island to finish out the World Tour, but I think people are making holiday plans.
Oh, well, they deserve it. What a year. It's been epic.
I agree.
Still go back to that beautiful misty vision that we had in the fam of them coming up over that was just
that was pretty epic.
Very epic.
It was. It's been a very big year. We'll have to turn our attention to the best ofs soon.
That'll be a big episode. We'll do like Martin Scorsese with a 3-hour 45-minute runtime to get through that, because that'll be awesome.
I don't think Mercksy's down for that.
Yeah.
Have you discussed it?
We'll negotiate. We're talking about Annemiek van Vleuten retiring off to the sunset. Well deserved. Put your feet up.
She's on holidays.
She won't be able to, though. She'll be back in some form. Won't be able to keep herself away. We'll see. But obviously her departure opens up a yawning gap. A yawning gap. And you think you might know who's going to fill it.
Or does it?
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
So, enjoying the Glasgow Championships.
Yep.
Jeez, that was a cracker. There was a moment watching the junior women's race where the young lady who got second, Kat Ferguson, meow, she was riding a Movistar Canyon.
Oh.
First year junior, only 17. And I was like, hold the phone. Something about this.
Who'd she steal that from?
So, first year juniors, this year she's won the Tour of Flanders, Trofeo Binder, like big, huge races. Still has another year in the junior category, right? And so it was a bit unusual to see her on a pro bike at that age. But the news has emerged.
Yeah?
That they've scooped her up.
Have they? That's actually happened?
It's actually happening. Now, she will be joining the World Tour as a stagiaire, an intern in the second half of 2024. From 2025, she'll be on the team as a full contract for 3 years. This is huge because we have entered a new age where they are scouting 17-year-old women and putting them on 3-year contracts, world tour, where there is minimum wage, where there are great conditions. The game has changed.
It sure
Not
has.
enough, but the game has changed from where we were a few years ago. It's great news.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes,
I love the pathways.
I
How
mean,
good.
if she's as popular as Cat Deely,
Yeah.
you know, another cat out of the UK, I think we're on a winner here.
The cats are out of the
cats
bag
are out.
in the
She's
UK.
super talented. Like, it's actually really cool to see a 17-year-old talent ID like that.
Awesome.
But they weren't I wonder, had Movistar signed her at that point?
When she was on the canyon.
Were they like wooing her? Try the bike.
Yeah.
See how you go.
Have a bite of the apple.
Have a bite, and maybe saying to other teams, get your claws out.
Well, that's okay. That
We've marked our territory here.
Yeah, definitely. And that investment in that youth, and that when they're that age and they're like, oh, shiny things, is a really good way to plant seeds of longevity too. It's a really good way to say 3, 4, 5 years when you're an absolute out and out, forget about it superstar, you're going to have a bit of.
Oh, and you remember they gave me my first break.
Yep.
You know, in every industry,
And
people
my first
say
canyon.
That. And my first canyon. And on the other side, the employers, no matter where she ends up, they will always follow her and back her. We gave her first contract.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
And it's, once again, it's like, if only Kate Bates hadn't spotted me on that canyon, everything would be a little bit easier now.
Yes, I like to think I was the only one that did, but I don't think it went unnoticed.
Everyone else watching misses. That's why you're doing the Olympics. Now, this is the Wheelhouse podcast. Now, Marlon, you've been angling for Marlon. You've got a little bit to say on her... I guess a swift comeback to the top. Yep.
Well, so Marlon Russa, one of the hot favourites for the time trial at World Championships, she quite famously just stopped halfway through the time trial.
Yeah.
Got off her bike, was heard to say on the mic, on the camera, I can't do it anymore. I've had enough.
Yep.
I'm done. And people are like, physically, mentally, what's going on here?
Yep.
She's turned it around. She's come out. She's won her 3rd European time trial championships on the trot.
Yep.
Not bad. But I say more than the gold medal around her neck and the hat trick.
Yeah.
What a brilliant turnaround from all the criticism she copped at the highest stage in the sport to be able to, a month later, come out and do this.
At the European Champs, no less.
And she beat Schweinberger, who was 3rd, the Austrian, who was 3rd at the World Championships. She beat her, put her away. So I think it brings her reputation back a
it
little
sure
bit.
does.
Yeah.
Here we are thinking she was quietly
all
quitting.
All the doubters. Is
that what it's called? Quiet
quitting. It's
quiet
a
quitting,
it's a great term. We're going to use it a fair bit, I reckon.
Yeah.
Suggesting.
Well, that's almost like a herring quit, because she's like, I'm done, I'm out. Yeah, not. Comes back and absolutely smashes it up.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. We are talking about the European Champs on the Wheelhouse podcast. And earlier I mentioned that some safety concerns had arisen. Obviously, we were talking about other kind of health issues. But this is an on-the-track, I've had a bust up. I look like I've been beaten up by like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali and then Van Damme and Chuck Norris all at once.
Yes. Well, over in the men's time trial,
yeah,
which was won by Joshy Tarling, I might add.
We
G'day,
love
Father Michael, Mother Dawn. The photo that has emerged from Stefan Kung.
My God.
Oh, unbelievable. You've got to see it to believe it. I'll describe it. He's wearing a blue helmet that is shattered to pieces. You can see it hanging off his head. His red and white Swiss skin suit.
Yeah.
The white elements are almost entirely blood. It's actually really gory.
It's
pretty
graphic,
confronting,
graphic
isn't
content.
it?
Yeah.
And a lot of blood all down his face. The first thing that concerns me, Joel, the helmet, literally in pieces hanging off his head.
Yeah.
This didn't happen 2 minutes ago. This photo is from the finish line. It happened midway through the race. He hit a barrier, went over the handlebars, got back on. The helmet is shattered. He has blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Did nobody think, oh, hey, concussion test?
They didn't do any kind of HIA at all.
Just get back on your bike. Off you go.
I feel
Why is cycling so crap at this?
Yeah, cycling's got a lot of work to do there. That's not great.
I noticed, and we actually mentioned it last week, but we're in the midst of footy finals, Joel, so, it's still relevant. Ryan Pappenhausen, when he had his nasty injury on field, no cameras on him. There is no vision and no photos, so nobody can look it up and kind of go gore hunting to see it. Out of respect for him, his family, the sport, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cycling, hello, once again, we dropped the ball. Why are the cameras following this? Why is he allowed to get back on his bike?
Oof.
It's a shocker. So I'm not going to say kudos to him. I'm going to say this poor guy is obviously very dazed and confused, and he's been let down because there's articles saying, he's still finished 11th. Well done to him. No, not well done.
Not well done. No.
They've let him down.
Should
Somebody
be DNF.
should have.
DNF
They
on that
should
one.
not have let him get back on the bike.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It's interesting, I think, though. I just want to go back to Joshy Tarling.
Joshy T.
He was expected to win because he got third at Worlds, and the guys that beat him, I'm talking about Remco and Filippo, they were over in Spain doing, other stuff.
As you do.
At La Vuelta.
Yeah.
But, hello, Joshy Tarling. At the beginning of the year, we were talking about him like, watch out, this guy's got a bit of talent. Has he delivered or what?
Oh, of course he has.
He's on this trajectory.
Yeah, he's another one that's heading towards this great launch pad.
Mark my words, he's going to win the Olympic time trial.
Mercksy, is Josh Tarling going to win the Olympic time trial?
Just looking it up, Joel. Yes, he is.
Okay,
yes.
There you go. Well done. That checks out.
Yeah, predictive chat GPT Mercksy.
You heard it here first. No, look, awful crash. Awful crash. Back to Marlon, though. 3 in a row. Extraordinary.
3 in a row for her. Joshy Tarling on the top step. They've done well. And I often get asked, why do we care about the Europeans or the Oceanias? Because they're the same, for different regions of the world. They're important because if you are European champion, you get an automatic start at the World Championships. It doesn't matter from your country who they pick. You will get a start on the start list as long as they just endorse it. And for countries like Belgium, for example, if Wout van Aert had have won, it would have meant that they have an extra spot above their other allocations, an extra rider, which is actually really important and really valuable. So that's why Europeans, road race and time trial, are sought after and important.
Awesome. Another name that we've heard a lot for a very tender age is, of course, Zoe Backstedt. Added again.
Well, cycling royalty. This one made me think. We just expect Zoe. There's a lot of pressure for the poor thing.
Of course there is.
Because of her dad.
Yeah.
Paris-Roubaix winner. We just expect the Backstedt girls to go far. And look, they're very talented. They will go far. But it got me thinking, Joel. It's like super babies, because her mum, Megan, was an exceptionally good bike rider as well, right? So it's not just one side genetics, it's double up here. Who do we think we could combine for the ultimate?
The ultimate rider?
Yeah.
So matchmake, you want me to matchmake?
Yeah, like the next generation ultimate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's probably not too difficult to predict mine.
Does it start with W?
We're going to combine Annemiek van Vleuten with Wout van Aert.
Oh, you stole them!
Right. But the beauty of this is in their surnames. I mean, I don't know if you'd then have Annemiek van Vleuten van Aert or Wout van Aert van Vleuten. But either way, there's 3 Vs. That makes a trident. By your rules, Joel, by your rules,
love it.
We have a winner. So,
that's
baby,
excellent.
VVVA. Va. Baby Va. There you go. Have you got any better ideas?
No.
Mercksy, assuming Peter Sagan, what's your combination?
I got nothing. This is your segment.
He's like, why are you bringing me into this?
Come on. All right. I'm going to go Sagan Brown.
Okay.
Like Peter Sagan.
And Gracie.
Grace Brown's
our Grace.
Time trialling prowess.
So you're saying Grace?
Yeah.
And Sagan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sagan Brown. Brown Sagan. Either way. Look, I'm not, I don't need to dictate which surname comes first.
Okay. Demi and Jonas.
Volaringa
go.
See?
There you
know
go.
how to play this game.
Volaringa go.
There you go. All right.
And also, hello, genetic, get out of town.
Yes, it's not just about the surnames.
Isn't it? You sure? Volaringa go.
But I
think
Volaringa
I've arrived.
go.
Yeah. And you know that I always have to bring in my guy, and he's been a little bit out of the headlines, but Juju.
Oh.
Yeah, get him in, and with let's say Alaphillip-ecky.
Oh.
Alaphillip-ecky.
Alaphillip-ecky. That actually would be a very...
Alaphillip-ecky.
That'd be a lot of panache.
Alaphillip-ecky.
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 You're quite pleased with
A
yourself.
lot of Kopecky.
All right, well, look, watch this space for another 30-odd years and we'll see where we're at. Moving on.
We're coming back to Welcome to the Wheelhouse, episode 6,000. If you were watching 33 years ago, we speculated on... Anyway, let's go to Lombardia and get out of name hell here, because you have put me through the ringer today, Kate Bates. Now,
Yes.
Primoz and Pog on a course... Well, on course to collide.
Together.
Hopefully not actually collide, but figuratively they're going to race against each other.
They are,
okay.
Yeah, well, they're getting ready for Lombardia.
Yeah.
But first up, they're racing at the Giro dell'Emilia, which is a nice warm-up race in Italy before Lombardia. But what's important here is it's the first time they've raced against each other since the Tour de France in 2022.
Wow.
So it's been a long time coming.
That was the one where Primoz got attacked by the panther, of course.
Oh, poor fella.
Yeah.
Sticky tape man. They've raced together, but not against each other, because they were teammates for Slovenia, of course. Now they go head-to-head.
Now it's on
Yes.
in Lombardia.
It'll be interesting because, obviously Primoz is both on form and potentially a bit frustrated that he didn't get to, race his race at La Vuelta. So,
I'm going
to... Could see a big end to the season here.
That'd be massive.
Yeah.
It's just is there a point where you just put the cue in the rack and have a break?
Oh, not if you're Primoz.
You're not Primoz.
I think he's a competitor,
Pog,
Joel.
He's had a bit of an
He's a
injury-interrupted year as well, I suppose.
He
Bit
has.
of disappointment
Remember
at
the
the
wrist?
tour. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Remember you gave him that really lovely nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it again?
Wristy.
Wristy business. Yeah, that's right. Look, I just want to talk about a sporting legend for a second, because every time I see on our rundown Lombardia, I think of Vince Lombardi, and I say Lombardia, and it does my head in. And it's one of those things that you just associate. Vince Lombardi, obviously great NFL coach. Anyway, more to this. I'm really painful and drawn out segue here because it's not just NFL legends that are springing to mind at the moment, Catherine Bates, on the Wheelhouse podcast. Apparently, some other big US athletes are turning to the bike. Cut to Kate. Kate picks up. Oh, I'm reading the instructions. Sorry.
That is right. Joel, change camera. Yes, NBA Hall of Famer Reggie Miller. He's taken up mountain biking and gravel biking.
But mountain biking, according to so many people, is a little bit meh. I'm still a little bit upset about that. Yeah, boring, repetitive. Jesus.
Yeah, get over it.
Try ride down the Daisy Hill trails and say that.
I think it's more of a leisure activity. Perhaps it's a little bit boring if you're racing it, but if it's a leisure activity, come on.
Nothing better.
You like the old mountain bike.
I love it. I saw a snake the other day and almost ran into a tree.
Well, don't do that.
Yes.
The joy on Mercksy's face when he rides the mountain bike, it's a joyful activity.
Rides like a boss too, Mercksy.
We've just lost our 4 mountain bike listeners.
Yeah.
No, sorry guys, it's not a little bit boring
I don't think
everybody.
so.
Anyway,
I'm not saying that at all. I love it.
I love it as a pastime. Let's keep going. I feel like we're getting into a mountain bike hole. No,
you have another one of your little games.
I
here.
do, and I hope that you're more prepared for this one than you were for the Filippa-Pecky thing.
Oh, come on, Alaphillip-ecky's an amazing name.
And Mercksy, you're on notice. Who is the ultimate athlete, Joel, that you want to see on a bike? Because apparently, Reggie Miller on a bike is sending people cray-cray.
Oh, yeah,
like
would
they're
be.
so excited.
Yeah.
And every man and his bike is trying to get out and have a ride with this fella.
Well, he'd have about 800 million social media. He's almost as many as us, I think.
And then some.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go first to just put you both on warning to have a bit of a think about this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Ellysse Perry on a bike.
Oh, good call. Good call.
She's a dual international for soccer for Australia, for cricket. I just think that she'd be brilliant. She's not even 30 yet. It's not too late.
The Matildas were cool, basically.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, look, bit of an uphill challenge on the recruitment side.
Yeah.
Because she's at
I was going to say
over $1 million a year at Royal Challengers Bangalore in the IPL. But I don't know.
Love Pez. She's
I
awesome.
just think it would be amazing to
She'd be able
see
to do it.
her on a bike.
Wouldn't take much.
No.
Yeah. Does my choice have to exist in real life?
Okay. This is curious.
I have two.
Sure, no.
I have two. One of them's fictional.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Are we talking like Darth Vader or
No,
something? Oh,
not that silly.
Okay.
Rocky Balboa.
Oh.
Rocky. The grit,
Okay.
the tenacity,
Oh, right, I see.
and the post-ride, post-stage press conferences would just be the, it's not about how hard I got hit. It's about how I keep going.
I mean, remembering
Sorry, Rocky, what was that?
that Primoz literally quoted him.
Exactly.
So you might not be the only one there. Mercksy, have you got any ideas on this one?
Yeah, of course I do. The Rock
The Rock's
is
good.
a wrestler. That's a sport.
It is.
That is a sport, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. He'd be good. He'd be interesting in the post-match too.
He'd struggle on the climb.
I mean, I'm
Probably
thinking
need a
they're both Rocky.
58-inch frame.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think both Rocky and The Rock would need wider than...
Rocky and the Rock.
Yeah, you guys are super original today.
Thanks.
They would need wider than standard handlebars, those pair,
Yeah.
because they are quite big humans.
Yes.
Yes.
First time in Tour de France history, a rider is riding two bikes at the same time.
I would rate Ellysse Perry on a climb over both of those pair, just saying.
Mate, Rocky Balboa will take them all down. You wouldn't think so, though. He'd be heavily tipped against. Everything would go against him. He'd have all this personal turmoil happening. Everything that would suggest that he could win would be wiped off the board, and then he'd come out and surprise everyone, and then he'd get to the post-match, and they'd be like, what'd you think today? And he'd just go, Adrian! And everyone would be happy. I got one more.
All right.
And I just think, work with me here. Roger Federer.
Ooh.
Roger Federer has the figure to climb,
He
has the
does.
figure to sprint.
Yes.
He could be one of those guys that's like, hey, take your pick of the jerseys. You're just this beautiful prototype. The demeanour, the temperament.
No,
doesn't
that's a good
Doesn't
one.
kick stones.
I agree with that.
Doesn't quietly quit.
Yes.
Although
no,
maybe
doesn't
did kind of quietly
he did
quit
not
at the end of
quietly
his...
quit. Come on now.
Did he though?
All that emotion. He did not. I
Okay,
think this is just, I'm going to ring my own bell here. This is a genius segment.
It's very good. I think we
Because
should
now
continue
I'm
it.
thinking about all of these other athletes that I'm going to wrap it out with Arnie Titmus.
Oh, good one.
Aussie swimming legend.
Absolutely.
I just think she would be an excellent individual pursuiter.
What about our Kathy? Rewind 23 years ago.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
aerodynamic suit from Sydney 2000.
That would be brilliant.
On
And
the bike.
About time. It's only taken 23 years, but
I
finally
know.
one of the stadiums has been named.
The Eastern
The
Stand at
grandstand.
Homebush.
Yes.
Finally. Yes.
Finally, the Kathy
It's
Freeman
like, yeah, thanks
stand.
so much, guys, for the timely honour. That was good of you.
I feel like we need to wrap the show up because I don't think we can do better than that.
Then Volaringa go.
No, that was too.
was pretty
Anyway,
This is the Wheelhouse Podcast. It is and shall remain a place of, I don't even know, lunacy. But some good content as well. So please like, share, subscribe, tell everyone that you know. If you like it, my name's Joel Spreadborough. If you don't, my name is Mercksy. And your name is...
Harsh. Katerina Bartes.
Katerina Bartes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
If they allow us back in here.
Mercksy has been recruiting.
For you after that comment.
Yeah.
You're done. This
Why
has
did
been
I
your
say
last show.
Mercksy?